Bitburger Maibock.
And remember, life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. Got another Maibock here, and this is the offering from Bitburger. Now, Bitburger are a huge brewery. They do a lot of beer. I mean, they shift a lot of beer in Germany, and they sell, I think is it 1.2 million hectolitres a year of their Pilsner. And I've reviewed their Pilsner on the channel, and it was very good. And my mate from Germany has brought me over some of this stuff, the Bitburger Maibock, which I have not seen over in this country. So I'm doing this review, but I don't know whether you're going to be able to get this over here or not. You may be lucky, you may be able to order it online. But as you know, Maibock is a seasonal beer. If you've been watching the previous reviews, you'll know the history of Maibock and how it's came about. So I'm not really going to go into it too much. But needless to say, it does have its characteristics. It's quite hoppy. In fact, they emphasise the hops more than the malt on this, in this style. The ABV is quite big on it. It's quite full-bodied as well. And there's variations on that theme. It's usually amber in colour as well. And it's very nice. So far, I've tried the Hofbrau Maibock, which was really nice. I've tried the Einbecker Maibock, which is the originator of the style. That's where it originates from, is Einbeck. I've also tried the other Maibock, which was the Flensburger Maibock, which, in my opinion, was the best one I've tried so far. I'm not sure how this stuff is going to be, but the Flensburger for me was the best. I did find the Hofbrau very, very drinkable, sweeter than the other two. Not so much emphasis on the hops, it was more about the malt. Very rounded, very, very drinkable, very nice indeed. I found the Einbeck to be very extreme in both flavours, big hop bitterness and noble hop flavours on the palate, and then a lovely malty finish on the arse end of it. But then I found Flensburger just had the perfect balance of both, but it also had the drinkability as well. So for me, Flensburger is the best at the moment. As I say, I've not tried this before, so we will find out if this is good. Quick word about Bitburger. They've been going since 1817, I think it is, and they are one of the biggest brewers in Germany. They used to sponsor the German Bundesliga, and I mean, that's how big they are. They used to sponsor, I think it was Benetton Formula One as well, so they have got their sponsorships going on, which normally only comes from very, very big brewers. And they've got a few other brands underneath their umbrella. I think Benedictiner and Kostricha. My pronunciation is going to get crucified by any German subscribers, but Kostricha, you know, the one who do the black beer or Schwarzbier, they're under the Bitburger umbrella as well. So Bitburger are a big brewer. Would they be classed as a macro brewer? Potentially. They're not an international brewer. They're just very, very popular in Germany, and they're so popular, in fact, that I've mentioned on a few of the German beer reviews that the German locals are very loyal to their local brewer. But Bitburger seems to be very popular all over Germany, especially northwestern Germany, in the Rhine and Westphalia region, and in areas like Cologne and Dusseldorf. Bitburger Pilsner is, I wouldn't say it's preferred, but it is as popular as the Alt beer is in Dusseldorf and as the Kölsch is in Cologne. So they must be doing something right. Let's see if they are. Right, this is a 330ml Dumpy bottle. It is a 6.7% ABV beer. It's all in German at the back of the label. On the front you can see the goat's head. That's a sign of Bock beer, or a symbol, a German symbol for Bock beer. If you look at Doppelbock, certainly they will have some kind of ram's head on there and on the front. I quite like that design actually. I've got a mate who's got a ram's head tattooed on the back of his head, and that looks pretty decent, and it's very similar to that. But yeah, as I say, the emphasis is on the hops on this style, and this contains 3 different styles of hops. It contains Ariana hops, which are a fruity style of hop, dark fruits, with emphasis is on the dark fruits. They have their own Bitburger hop in this as well, a hop variety that they've put into this. Bitburger seal hops in there. I think they use that for bittering. And there's also the Hallertau hops, which is where you're going to get your noble hop and herbal flavours and aromas from. So, on paper, it looks pretty decent. Let's get it in the glass, see what's going on. I'm glad me mate come over at this time of year, because I've finally been able to get hold of a few Maibocks to review. I did a few last year as well, notably the Iinga one, which I thought was really nice. But Maibock is quite, I wouldn't say quite hard to get over here, but there's a very small window of, and it's I wouldn't say it's limited editions that they do, but it's a seasonal beer, so you have to get it at the right time. I doubt you'll find a Maibock from a rather obscure German brewery in around November or December in this country. You just don't find it, unfortunately. But anyway, let's get this into the glass. Let's stop gassing and get it in the glass. Now, this is a slightly lighter colour. The Flensburger was the lightest one. That was termed as a Hellerbock, which is the same thing. It just means it's a light coloured Maibock. But the usual colour is copper, amber colour. There is, I don't know whether it's my imagination, but there is a bit of a hue or a haze to that. I don't know if you can see that, but it does look nice. The head on this looks really good. Oh, and the aromas, getting that already. Oh, very, very herbal. And you can really tell they've got some noble hops in there. The Hallertau hops are really coming through on this. Oh, it is really good. That smells fantastic. Very, very herbal, grassy, and also fruity as well. I am getting some fruit on there. There's like a lemon citrus on that. And an almost, I don't know, like a, what would you call that? It's definitely some kind of fruit. Would it be a melon? You know, honeydew melon? I don't know, but it's nice. But you're definitely getting the grassy and the herbal notes. Not so much of the spicy black pepper notes that I did get on the Einbeck Maibock. But there you go. It does look nice. Small head retention on that. At 6.7%, I don't think that's going to last too long. It is cold. It's just come out of the fridge. So, let's get it down my fat Gregory Peck. Prost, as they say in Germany. Oh, tons of hop character on this. There's a lovely hop bitterness all the way through this. Reminds me of a Pilsner. And the finish is quite, I wouldn't say bitter, but it's got notes of bitterness, but it's quite fruity as well. But not overly fruity, but you can definitely get the notes on there. What sort of fruit was that? There's definitely lemon citrus on there. And there's almost like a grapefruit bitterness. Now, I say that quite cautiously. I don't want you to think this is bordering on the West Coast IPA, that kind of bitterness. The hop bitterness on this is a big thing, but there's definitely a note of, I'm perceiving that as grapefruit, almost resinous. Yeah, this is this is different. The other three that I've tried so far have all had some kind of malt backbone on there, certainly on the finish. I'm not really getting it on this. This is all about the hops. It's quite bitter. It's almost reminded me of a Pilsner, a typical North German Pilsner with that bitterness all the way through it. And then there is that real hop bitterness on the finish. I know I keep going on about the bitterness on this, but this is unique. This is unique in that it's got none of the real malty notes that I would have expected to get on a Maibock. If you're just looking at the carbonate, slow moving carbonation on that, very uniform indeed. It does look good. I like it. I personally think it's not really balanced. It's really putting a big emphasis on the hops. So if you're a fan of Czech Pilsners, again, I will say if you do like that bitterness that you get on Czech Pilsners, you will like Maibock, because you will always get that in that style. Now, if Hofbrau was the sweeter of the Maibocks that I've tried, this is definitely the more astringent and bitter Maibock of the ones that I've tried so far. I would say this would be an acquired taste. If your average lager drinker drank this, he would immediately be taken aback by the bitterness on this. I'm sorry, but I keep looking at the camera's not going to really pick that up. I don't know whether it would or not. If I put my hand behind it, can you see the carbonation there? Just like streams of bubbles. And that's, with my fucking stupid attention deficiency syndrome, it's caught my eye and I'm just transfixed on that now. I've never seen that in a beer before. I don't know how that's happened. Anyway, yeah, I think your average lager drinker is going to be taken aback by how bitter this is, with all that noble hop character and the other hops that are in there as well. But I quite like it. It's nice. As I say, it does remind me of a Pilsner. And obviously the Bitburger, that's what Bitburger are known for. But I have to say, I do prefer a little bit more malt on my Maibocks so far. And for me, Flensburger had it all. It had the bitterness, but it wasn't as extreme as this bitterness here. But it did have a lovely malty back end on it. And this just hasn't got that. And there is, I did say that you shouldn't be thinking of this as a West Coast, but the more I drink of it, you could sort of half be forgiven for thinking this is like West Coast IPA light, if you like. A typical sort of thing you find in North German Pilsners. I'd love to know what the IBUs on this are. I don't think they put it on the website, but I personally, I do like some hop bitterness in beers, but for this, it's a slight letdown for me. I don't think it matches up to the other Maibocks that I've tried. So, what's the verdict on Bitburger Maibock? In a word, bitter. It's got quite a lot, well, I say quite a lot, it's mainly all hop character. Noble hops are definitely in there from the Hallertau hop. You can get that nice herbal and grassy notes. I think the Bitburger seal hop that they've used, I think they've used that as a bitter in hop. That's gone in quite early in the boil, and it's given it quite a bitter astringency on the palate and on the finish as well. And there is an element of fruit in there as well, which I think is coming from that Ariana hops. But I cannot get much malt out of this at all, which to me is a little bit disappointing. As I say, I've tried the Bitburger Pilsner, and that's quite nice. You do get a little bit of a malty backbone on that, but not really here at all. There's no ethanol. At 6.7%, you'd expect some ethanol. I'm not seeing that at all. I'm not tasting that, I should say. But yeah, a bit extreme in the bitterness stakes. For that reason, I'm going to give it I'm going to give it a 7. I think that's about the best I can do, because for me it just isn't balanced. However, if you are a fan of noble hops and you do like your beer quite bitter, with a lot of emphasis on bitter fruit and I wouldn't say astringency, but hop bitterness, then you're going to like this. If put it this way, if you're a fan of West Coast IPAs, then you're going to like that, because it has got that bitterness on there. But for me, it's just a little bit too much. So yeah, 7 out of 10. Would I recommend it? There's better Maibocks out there. As I say, the Flensburger, the Hofbrau and the Einbeck for me were much better than this. So yeah, a little bit disappointing in my opinion from Bitburger. But if you like your bitter beers and you're a big fan of them bitter Czech Pilsners, then you may like this. But for me, it's a 7 out of 10. I'll drink that and I'll enjoy it, but I don't think I'm going to buy it again, unfortunately, just for the simple fact there's better ones out there. And remember, beer is working class champagne.